May I ask, 'cause to deflect off of this shit? Can I bring up when I did?
Please stop talking about my penis. I feel super uncomfortable.
When I did Hour of Goon,
stop talking about my big dick.
When I did Hour of Goon, we just did all name droppy stories and shit like that. But you, Jordy, had a story about going to the Playboy Mansion. Can you say that story? Yep.
Yeah, you like that story?
It's the greatest rock story I've ever heard, I think.
Okay. Well,
I want to hear the story
it's
about
really not
the
that.
fun.
Now you got built it up. It's really
Can we
not
do a
that great.
crawl before it? Could there be a fight between two characters in it with swords that glow?
Dan,
Did you have brunch at the Playboy Mansion?
I had just talked about Dan and Rob.
One of them used to be on Girls.
I had just talked about the story of Dan and Rob getting high with Adam Carolla and meeting Hasselhoff and that weird conversation. And so that was my offering of my Playboy Mansion story. And then Jordy goes, because I went there once, I think. And just lay that on us, because it's not a long story. It's just a fucking goodie.
Okay, I'm a terrible storyteller, but I'll see if I can figure it out. Years ago, when I used to do a lot of bad things, Dave Navarro and I were at his house.
I love Dave Navarro. Sorry, he's on my podcast next week.
Yeah, and he's told this story is actually in his book, so it's not like I'm revealing anything.
But no, it's great.
He's a normal human being, and people like you prevent him from being part of stories like this.
Yes, part of stories. Anyway, he's amazing, and he's on my podcast. And back to you.
Anyways, we got a limo. We're going to go to the Playboy Mansion. My first time there, he was probably there a million times, who knows, but I was excited. We're going to the Playboy Mansion. We did some narcotics, and we were drunk and very nervous because of the narcotics we were taking. We get a limo and we hit traffic, and we just want to get the fuck out of the car and it took us 3 hours to get to Playboy Mansion with traffic. As soon as we got there, it was stop, start, stop, start, stop,
By the way,
start.
Playboy Mansion has herpes. Okay.
I know.
Sorry.
Yes, it does. The shoes.
whole house.
The
house
shoes.
has herpes. Yeah.
And crawling out of our skin to finally get to this place. As soon as we get to the Playboy Mansion, we get up there, boom, walk in, we're all excited. There's girls everywhere. We make a beeline to the bathroom, right to the bathroom, and make a beeline to the bathroom. At the time, I had long dreadlocks. He ties off his arm with one of my dreadlocks and does, for some reason, because there was, figure out why.
It's like in the restaurants, like, sir, if you're going to come in here,
for some reason, he grabs my dreadlock and ties off one of his arms. And I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, you're doing, okay, cool. Yes.
He boots up using your dreadlock as a tie.
As a tie.
What kind of heroin addict doesn't bring their own thing? Like at least a shoelace?
Well, when you're friends with me. I mean, come on. I got him coming out of my head.
It's ready-made.
Yes.
Life's
Anyways.
about pivoting. Just pivot.
And
that's all it's about.
I proceed to put some unknown substance up my nose.
Right.
Baking soda.
I can't imagine.
Baking soda that way.
Pixie stick.
Gravy.
And then we are immediately filled with more panic. So we just look at each other, go, we got to get the fuck out of here immediately. So we left the thing, got right back in the limo, waited for another 2 hours going down the hill, down to home, got back in, and went home. That was it.
What did you leave out?
That was it.
What did you leave out?
Oh, you're talking about the girl who lost her purse and shit in the toilet?
That.
Yeah.
That. And he also said you guys sprayed the ceiling.
Yes.
Blood went everywhere because you guys...
See, I kind of didn't want to... I mean, the story's common knowledge. It's in his book, but I don't want to...
blood and your dreadlocks and boop and then not talk about
bring
the
out.
other
I was
stuff.
thinking about how he sprayed the blood on the
Trying
thing
to keep
and
it
all that other
classy.
stuff.
Trying to keep it classy, guys.
Jordy, I always say this to the young heroin addicts out there. When you use your friend's dreadlock to tie off at the Playboy Mansion, untie before you take the needle out. Otherwise, the blood's going to go all over the fucking...
Well, yeah, because I actually wanted to stay. He dragged me out because I was still stuck to his arm. Yeah.
So you can understand the struggles of brunch at this
Hugs,
point.
not drugs, America.
Exactly. You have PTSD. That's
Hugs, not drugs.
So you guys both say no comment if that, but you guys are rock and rollers. So have you both done heroin?
Never.
That's not ironic. You've never done it.
I've never done it.
So you've worked,
I've done everything at one point.
including heroin?
Everything at one point, yeah.
I've done
everything
bunch,
under the sun. Nothing now.
but never heroin.
I smoke Cupid downers. I mean, come on.
This is a good question, actually. First of all, let me just say as a disclaimer, because I have a daytime show, don't do drugs.
I don't do drugs
Not
anymore
during the
either.
daytime. You'll go to sleep and you won't watch your show.
Then you ruins your night. But I do feel like it's interesting because for me, when I was growing up and I did stuff, because that's what you do when you're a teenager and a young adult, that heroin was the line for me. And it was interesting. I was afraid of it. I had friends that did it, and I had friends that shot up. And I remember thinking, like, oh, everything else I can kind of, like, play with, but that's the thing I could never, ever try.
Exactly.
Yeah, because needles, gross.
Well, not
I
just
know, I've
needles,
never
but
had a
it
needle.
felt like the
I
thing
could
that was
barely
like...
get it.
There was no
Shot.
needles. Yeah, no needles.
That
in
was
me.
like the thing that you thought, like if you watched, like, I don't know, Christian F. or any of the movies about heroin.
you.
Oh, I mean, je suis très français.
Oui.
That like there were a few of those movies that you thought, like, that if I try that, I'm like, I'm all in, right? Like I won't be able to pull back
So-
from
so
that.
you-
Is that
you-
why you didn't try it?
That's exactly it. I just always thought that was a line that I didn't want to be a part of.
And you guys knew each other the whole time. I
I didn't know him.
You snorted
back-
heroin.
Not that night. That night we were doing
No,
cocaine.
but I want to talk about this now because it's a fascinating. Like you know.
I mean, I've tried it, but that was the end of it. It's like try that. Go.
Like,
Oh,
but
that's
by
a lot of
snorting
fun.
Don't
Yeah.
do heroin.
That's
Dan.
a lot of fun. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I might like
Dan,
gonna
it.
do
don't,
heroin.
Dan,
Yeah.
don't do heroin.
I'm sober. I don't do drugs or
Yeah,
I don't even
I
drink.
knew that about you as soon as I saw
Yeah.
you that you were
I mean,
clean.
yeah,
I could tell.
He'd
I'm
done it
serious.
all,
I'm serious.
so
I
he
could tell.
just
Don't do
No, I mean,
heroin.
in life, at this moment, I'm sober also, but
But in life,
I'm
you're sober.
Yeah.
I
okay,
knew that the
but
minute I
valuable
met
line of questioning. Like so can we talk? Like you.
And Dave is also clean as well right now. Dave Navarro's clean.
Yes, he is.
How did you encounter heroin and you snorted it? You never
I never shot it up. No, I did not.
So can you talk
How-
about snorting?
what happened?
I'm curious because I'm 43 and I was like always like I'm never gonna do
Well,
that.
one
now.
time it was like it was. I thought it was cocaine, and it was like a pulp.
Oh, it was an
Fiction
accident
kind of
thing.
It was an
That's how
accident.
I did meth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. Yeah.
I thought it was coke.
I thought it was.
Somebody was like, "Here's a key load of," and I was
like-
like, "It's so shiny."
And then another time.
Oh
Another time somebody.
Why
getting
not
so much
put it in
homework
my
done.
nose?
And then another time someone handed me something. Goes, "Hey, try this out." I'm like, "What is it?" And I go, "It's not heroin." Is it? He goes, "No, you'll like it. It's good." And then I went and did it. I came back, dude.
Never
this is,
do anything someone
this is-
says, no,
this is
you'll like
heroin.
it, it's
You know, don't do
good.
this. It's
I
just-
won't eat a salad
Yeah,
if someone's like, no, you'll like it, it's good.
It's not for me. It was
Right.
it was not my thing. I
Well,
mean,
what's the
I
high?
wanted to stay up and like not have a hard on and like be really in panic and not sleep forever.
Think you're
Yeah,
going to
struggle about
die and
brunch.
beg your friends
Be
to
really
take you to
horny.
the hospital.
Yeah, that was my thing. Yeah, not feel good and go to sleep. I want to feel more terrible than I already do. Yeah.
Have you ever smoked crack?
You know what?
I smoke crack.
I've
This
I've
is the
tried it
best
before.
episode of
Again, I am
Harmontown
clean and
ever.
sober. I don't do that. Yeah,
Guys,
It's
I smoked crack with a Hare Krishna once. Okay.
it's not that.
I thought it was.
Hare
I
Krishnas
thought it was.
move their
what?
crack.
No. That would never
Okay.
happen. No.
I just
He
gave you
doesn't
guys
do
a
drugs.
real.
Dimebag Darrell doesn't do drugs.
I just gave you guys a real Arab goon. Wait, what?
Or audience guy, that's amazing.
Under
How
what
do we get talking
circumstances
about
do you
drugs?
meet a Hare Krishna that wants to smoke crack?
Hare
Oh, he was
Krishnas
my dealer.
all want to
He was
die.
your dealer?
Yeah.
They're like, look at my
For
outfit.
real. Like, I'm not
Fuck
even
this
kidding.
noise.
You think I'm kidding? I'm not. I'm not
Wait,
making
Fred-
it up. He was.
He was a little more Hare, not so much Krishna. You know what I mean?
A lot of Hari.
Fred, was it you that you told the story about going to Wilt Chamberlain's crib?
I did. I went to Wilt Chamberlain's house. He was already dead.
Ooh,
Tell
but
us-
his house is full of fur.
So you murdered him.
Wilt Chamberlain's house also has
Are you
herpes.
Encyclopedia Brown?
And it got it
I went
from
to
the
Will
Playboy
Chamberlain's
Mansion.
house. He was already dead.
Yeah.
You're
This is
describing the
after he
cold
died.
open of a mystery.
No, he's.
I did. I went to Wilt Chamberlain's house. There was a
And
bunch
he
of
was
people-
dead.
He was not alive at this point. This was
Yes,
like
I did. Yes, that's Murder, She Wrote.
2011.
No,
But
people
the
are
weird-
throwing parties at his old house.
Yeah. people
No,
were
that's
throwing parties
touched
at
by
his
an
house.
angel, Dan.
People were throwing parties at Wilt Chamberlain's house after he had died.
Okay, all right, okay.
And like all of his stuff was still there, his clothes,
But
his
not his
porn
body.
bags, and he had an orgy room, an absolute fact with a waterbed.
Oh, God.
That was
He
like a
was not
circular
that
room
hot,
with the
though.
mirrors and a waterbed in the center, and some of them was two-way mirrors.
Well, some of it was what?
And I did do drugs there
But wait,
No, yeah, but
at the time.
This
This
is
is a
the
long
greatest
time ago.
night
Tell
of
me
my
about
life.
what you saw something happening in the pool outside.
Yeah, actually, at the pool, he had a. You should get this kind of place. It had a swimming pool
You
that you
should.
can enter from inside the house.
You don't know that I don't have that.
That is true.
Or
But
from
he
what
had
we
a-
hear about him, he should.
But he had a swimming pool that you could get in, and it had a grotto and everything. And there was
The grotto's where the herpes is.
there was a girl. There were two girls that were kind of going at it, and there was a third guy. There was a third person, a guy who was going down on the girls, and he was on his cell phone. In the
on
pool.
his cell phone, going down on the girls at the same time.
Was it old
Did
school
he have
flip
that
phone or was
phone
it
that
iPhone?
Lil Wayne has that you can pour champagne on and
That sounds incredible. Yeah, that was weird.
If I got to the point where I was eating that much pussy, I would cast that wide a net. I'd be like, hello? Wait.
Yo, dude,
Where are
I
my next
got
5 pussies?
pussy.
Will
I'm
Chamberlain
gonna
will
meet
leave
you
us
at
out. It was a
101
good party.
Cafe for some pancakes and a breakfast burrito. I just gotta bust this pussy for a minute.
CAA is calling. They're like, hey, J.J. Abrams wants you to eat a pussy on the Batman set. Well,
Batman
okay, but
versus pussy.
Is
the
but
sequel.
I guess I guess I'm obsessed with this. Like, the reason why I'm asking is because we're older. We've done everything that we want.
I'm young and beautiful.
You
by the
have
way.
done something that I've never done. You've breached this threshold where it didn't involve needles, which the rest of us go like, oh, needles, that's where I'll draw the line. But it's not true. It starts with heroin is like a thing you can snort. The reason why I actually am interested in hearing you talk about
Wants
it.
to know where to get it.
No,
Serious.
is because we the legacy is like Nancy Reagan going, everybody say no. But the thing is, like, you're like we're hanging out. Like, it would be valuable actually if you go, here's what the high is like. Here's what happens after that. Or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be
I guess
a PSA.
I mean, yeah, but if you're gonna go there, like for heroin or crack or whatever, that wasn't the first thing that you were doing. Something led to
Right.
that. It was like, okay, I'm drunk now. I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I take it to the next
Yeah,
level.
it was always an accident. I remember like
it's always So who knows? You know
The
what I mean?
first time I did
I think
coke-
it was itchy and like I was constipated, and then
But- So
But
I talked about this with Dave too, which was like the difference between someone who lots of people never ever try drugs or drink recreationally and never have an issue, right? Some people fall into that well and they have to dig their way back out. And everybody who hasn't fallen into that well and worries about it wonders what was the thing that made you fall all the way down. And I guess the question I asked him was what was that feeling? What was that thing? And he said, look, I just think some people are predisposed to falling and some people are not. And maybe the question also was like, what was the appeal? What was the moment? What was the thing that you thought, okay, I'm going to go all the way in versus the rest of us? And I think there were a lot of people who were like, oh, I got high in high school, or I smoked dope every once in a while on the weekends, or I have a medicinal marijuana card and I get a brownie every once in a while, but I'm not, okay, that guy right there loves dope.
But you didn't go all the way in. I think that's what's interesting.
You did go all the way in because you're sober now.
No. He didn't graduate.
Yeah,
to
it just stopped working.
It stopped working for you.
Mostly booze. Booze was the thing that took me down. Like
Was
the
there-
drugs are just so I could drink more. And I just hit a wall and said I can't do this anymore. And I thought it would be really difficult to not do that anymore.
Did you do a
It turns
program
out
thing, or did you just do it on your own?
Jeff needs to know where your meeting is.
Yeah, I could take you. Yeah, well, by saying I'm not supposed to talk about it, you can figure it out.
I got
by
you.
the name. But I mean, I wouldn't trade all the years of partying for the world. It was fantastic and a lot of fun. But it's also a lot of fun not doing that too.
Do you find, because I felt like that asshole, I felt like that cousin or that aunt or that grandmother with Dave when we had this conversation where I was like almost asking him the question of like, tell me what not to do. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Do it all.
Yeah, well,
do
like,
as
like
much
I
as you
don't
can.
like.
I
tell
think
me,
drugs and alcohol are fantastic. Like, I mean,
It's really a
they're
good
fucking
time.
wonderful. But it's just it's
those
the
slopes.
time not to.
At some point it worked and then it didn't work. Right?
Well, you get older, and then if you feel shittier, and then like it's just, you want to
Yeah.
go out and do cool shit, and it's just not. I wasn't able to do that anymore.
That's the bummer, right? Like in your 20s, you can just go all night and rally on 45 minutes. And then you turn 35 and you're like, oh, I should have had that second glass of red wine. Oh, I think I'm having a heart attack. Like that literally is the thing. Like all of a sudden you're like, hey.
Actually, the reason why because I had done the cocaines in the past, and why I
those
stopped.
cocaines.
No, but why I stopped was actually I thought I had tinnitus really bad because it was making my ears ring terribly. And I honestly was
Oh,
like,
you knew I was doing so much coke that your ears were ringing?
yeah.
You're rich.
No, but I honestly that was like I was like, this
Someone's
is
doing
Wait,
a lot of
is your
coke
dealer a
diet.
Hare Krishna guy?
oddly no.
Mine really was.
Because they got those bells, you know.
But anyways, I mean, but it was like that
there you
scared
go.
the
I
shit
got
out of
that.
me more than like anything else.
Right.
So like I was
Right.
like, I can't even. I'm like laying here feeling like I just went to a fucking concert and it's like I can't deal. So
Let's do the
No
thing.
more,
I just have a hard enough time.
So I just
sleeping
smoke a lot of weed.
without drugs. You know
Right,
what I mean? Like, you know what I
right.
mean? It's like,
But there's
it's
like
bad
that
enough.
thing about like what knowing, like what the essential knowledge of knowing that you're gonna die does to you, right? Like we were talking about this at the beginning of the show. It does different things to different people. For some people, it does the thing where you think, well, I'm just gonna burn this place to the ground. I don't care. Like I'm gonna wreck my body. I'm gonna wreck my soul. I'm gonna go crazy,
See, that
right?
sounds so much fun
Yeah,
right
it does
now.
sound like a good time, doesn't it?
That
And
sounds great.
Some people,
Yeah.
you have your friend. They're like, I'm vegan and I
That's
only
what
drink
hide
green
and go
juice
seek
and I
is,
get
by
10
the
hours
way.
of.
It's getting fucked up on reality.
Right, yeah,
You
like-
can't see me. I'm hiding and you're seeking me.
Right. I mean, but like
It's all
like
drugs.
everybody kind of has this different response. I'm gonna get wasted. I'm gonna only drink green juice and sleep 10 hours a day. I'm going to jump out of planes. I mean, like all of that is a response to mortality.
Rain juice? You mean water?
Green juice.
Oh,
Green juice. Like your friend
you
that's
gotta
a
also
vegan
understand-
that only drinks the fucking green juice, and
Some
you're
people
like,
can't just do things normally. Like
Right.
even like if I don't put that stuff in my body anymore, I have a house full of Star Wars toys that I
Right,
can't stop
right,
buying.
right.
Or I got like it's like. It's,
do you
if
think it's just artists that do this? Do you think it's just, or not just artists, but like a certain kind of artistic mentality where you're like, I've got to go crazy on something? Booze, music, art,
obsessive compulsive behavior,
self-obsession.
It's other things, and he's got to channel it into one area.
I feel that there's a need to say to.
I exhaust everything that I get into.
Yeah, because like we're all gonna die.
I think
That could be a good thing. That
I
knowledge.
think
If you're gonna do it right.
Bring attention. Don't even bring attention. We're doing our own thing.
The whole time we're talking, I just looking over these two, just like looking at each other, like, yeah, right, okay.
Listen,
Attention.
if there's kids listening, and there are,
Please don't let there be.
Oh my God.
there always are.
Is that your demographic?
In the 80s, we had an institutionalized policy which turned out to be very flawed, where you just had this unilateral policy. The thing that we've never said is drugs exist. People take them to feel good. You may have a different experience than anyone else has. Like they are out there in the world,
Right.
and therefore it's up to you to know when you personally are are being hurt by them
Yeah.
or are being consumed by them,
Right.
because
Yeah.
your best friend might have a hollow leg.
So true. So true.
Fuck
And you're
you.
trying to
Fuck
keep
you.
up with him.
No.
But I totally agree. Or like the idea that like this is not a validation of drug use. I mean, drugs are bad. Even when they're good, they're still bad. But the idea is like know yourself and your sense of your place in the world, and realize that like, no matter how many drugs you do, you still have to be on this planet. You still got to figure out who you are. You still got to live here. And the drugs are only going to like push that away for a moment. Like they don't fix the essential nature of being human, which is shit is fucked up and you've got to be here and that shit is painful, and find a way through it that doesn't involve exterior, influences.
And
because
honestly-
you've just got to live. Like that's a deal. It's going
And
to
honestly,
suck.
you're
gotta
missing
live.
a lot of brunch.
Yeah, and go to brunch.
And the stakes have never been higher at those brunches.
Exactly. Thank you, Dan.
Guys,
It is a time of
Brunch is
Thank you for
winning.
coming to Harmontown, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Kind of Jason Sudeikis guy. Eric Simmons, everybody.
Eric Simmons.
Eric Simmons.
Eric Simmons.
Jordy and Fred's podcast.
He ran away. He
Hour
left.
of Goon. Dan Handelman and the shiny pants and the weird lady vodka and booze.
Hour of Goon.
Rob Schraub, everybody. From my absolute favorite new podcast, Hour of Goon, Fred Sablon, Jordy White. Aisha Tyler, y'all. I'm Jeff Davis. Your mayor's Dan Harmon. Thank you so much. Drive fast. Take chances.